Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really jumping into this recent wave of global events. We've gathered quite a few reports, different analyses, and our goal here is to unpack things, try to distill some key insights so you can get a quick grasp on the global picture right now.
Yeah, and what's really striking when you look at these sources together is how events that seem separate, military actions here, protests there, diplomatic meetings, they actually start to paint a pretty clear picture.
hmm
Escalating tensions, definitely. On multiple fronts, it feels like we're watching this global reshuffling almost.
Okay, so let's unpack that, starting with the Middle East, because things got pretty intense there. On Saturday, the U.S. hit three Iranian nuclear sites. We're talking Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. President Trump called the operation a remarkable military success.
Right. A success from the U.S. perspective, perhaps. But internationally, big pushback. European nations and Australia, too, they immediately condemned it, called it a violation of international law. So you see that rift right there. And then, layered on top of that, Israel carried out its own strike on a centrifuge workshop, also in Isfahan.
Okay.
Now, the interesting detail here, the IAEA checked it out afterwards. They found damage, yes, but crucially, no actual nuclear materials present in that specific facility.
Okay, so what does that suggest?
Well, it kind of suggests the aim might have been less about destroying existing material and more about degrading Iran's ability to enrich in the future, sending a message, a very
Yep.
strong one,
Right, a controversial one.
definitely.
Yeah.
And Iran's reaction. Supreme Leader Khamenei brought in emergency national security measures, things like command stabilization, even designating possible successors.
Successors, wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's not just routine paperwork. It signals real concern inside Iran about stability, about control, maybe anticipating more escalation, shoring things up.
That is, yeah, that's a lot just from one region. But these rising tensions, they're not happening in a vacuum, are they? You mentioned other flashpoints.
No, absolutely not. And we can't really talk about global instability without, acknowledging the ongoing conflicts. Gaza, Ukraine.
hmm
These are still grinding on. The UN even put out a warning, didn't they? Something like, an uncontrollable fire may soon spread.
Stark warning.
Very stark. And these long-running conflicts, they contribute to this overall feeling of vulnerability globally. They sort of set a precedent, maybe, for things escalating quickly elsewhere.
And it's not just those big geopolitical conflicts either. We're also seeing significant domestic unrest, even in Europe.
Exactly. Europe, which we often think of as, relatively stable. But
Mhm.
early June, Northern Ireland saw widespread riots, clashes with police.
Triggered by anti-immigration protests. Right?
That was the trigger, yes.
Yeah.
Injuries, arrests, it's a sign of these deep social tensions bubbling up.
Mhm.
Instability isn't just about borders, it's internal too.
Hmm.
And then just horribly, that school shooting in Graz, Austria, June 10th, try Gaza school.
Awful. 10 killed.
10 killed, 11 injured. The gunman took his own life. I mean, these are very different events, the riots and the shooting, but they both kind of underscore this friction, this vulnerability within societies, reflecting wider anxieties, perhaps.
Yeah. Yet amidst all this, the diplomatic track is still moving, or trying to. The G7 summit just happened June 16th, 17th, up in Canada, Kananaskis, focused on the economy, security.
Right. Those summits are always important temperature checks. And looking ahead, we've got the NATO summit. That's June 24th, 25th in The Hague.
Yeah.
And a big item on their agenda is this proposal: increasing defense budgets for member states significantly, up to potentially 5% of GDP.
5%. That's a huge jump from the current 2% target for most.
It's a massive jump. It really signals a fundamental shift in how these countries are seeing the threats, immediate threats, future ones, and their commitment to collective defense is being, well, seriously ramped up.
Okay, so let's pull back. We've got these military actions, the social unrest, the diplomatic moves, the budget talks. When you put all these pieces together, what's the main takeaway here? What's it all pointing towards for you?
Well, I think what's really emerging is this picture of profound global instability. It's not just one crisis here, another there. It's direct conflicts, yes, but also these deep social tensions and this whole power realignment happening all at once, worldwide. It feels like a new kind of global reality taking shape. And that really raises a crucial question, doesn't it? For all of us, really. How do all these different flashpoints, how do they intersect? What signal are they sending about future stability? Especially when you see reactions like that proposed NATO budget hike. Are we heading into an era where regional problems just keep spilling over, demanding a totally different way of thinking about security?
A really important question to consider. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive today. We hope breaking this down has maybe given you a clearer perspective on these critical global developments. Some things to think about.